Good afternoon and good evening for what is the kind of a premiere podcast on what the time frame I'm shooting for, give or take. Going forward, starting as you all know, last night was my last night at one job in one position, and I'm switching over on Monday. I'll be going to orientation 8 a.m. sharp, Eastern Standard Time. So again, start looking for my podcast between 5:45 and 6:30, meaning that that's going to be the start time, and we'll go for our normal hour maybe, and then I'll jump off the air before the big 8 o'clock podcasters jump on. That means anything that's major, that's breaking during the day, I'm going to miss. And unfortunately, I'll miss talking to you guys because this is a Monday, except for Saturday mornings. What me and Lincoln Clay are doing live from Wakanda on Saturdays now, and so we will start. That's where I'll be. Then on Sundays, we'll all kind of gather at the same time, and we'll get together and things like that. God willing, everybody, everything stays well. So, but that's where we are with it right now. I wanted to just give you all that time checkup there. And because I was going to do this podcast tomorrow, but I've just decided I'm going to go ahead and get some things done because I won't be able to get them done during the week. Or if I do, it'll be in the evening because I'll have banker's hours, right? I'll be 8 to 4:30 or 8 to 5, and starting Monday, which is weird because I've the last 6.5, almost 7 years, I was working 12-hour shifts 3 days a week. So that's why some days, some weeks I would work Monday, then I would be off Tuesday, Wednesday, work Thursday, Friday, be off Saturday, stuff like that. So, and there could be some news coming up that gets announced pretty soon. We'll have to wait and see. The reason why I've got what I have in my chat about the PS5's performance, I want to get one out of the way that's definite, and we'll go ahead and get to that here. So a few topics, won't be here a ton of time. It's Saturday afternoon. A lot of you all with your families, with your kids, stuff like that. Kids are playing basketball. There's basketball tournaments today. I know that. So I'll be watching some games later on tonight. I think I'm gonna try to go watch a big one tonight. I hadn't watched a lot of college basketball. I don't have cable. We stream, so don't have cable. I can pull some games up on afterwards on the tube, stream them, 2-3 days later. So, but that's the way we living it over here. But I want to give a big shout out to the people that are in the house because I do appreciate you all being here on a Saturday. You all can be anywhere. First 48 Gaming, big shout out to you. Make sure, when you come in, hit that like button, share it, hopefully you give a thumbs up. It's not the end of the world if you give a thumbs up. And if you want to donate any more than that, I definitely would appreciate it. It will be going to the PSVR if you want to do a super chat or something like that. Big shout out to all the members that are coming along. Yes, I'm still working on my clothing line. I need to figure out how to set the store up again properly because I did it last time and I didn't do it well. So, but I'll start off again with basic stuff. Just some mugs and hats will be the start. We'll go from there. If you are a member, I still plan on, if you're a member, you can get a free mug or hat, and it's free. You will have to pay for shipping, however. So, and we have boys and girls sizes, and then that will move on to towels and t-shirts and things like that. So, that way, so we'll have the towel. We'll still have the booty busting towel for all you ladies out there that game and want a big towel when you get on up out of the bathtub. When you get all sudsy up and everything. Make sure you get all dried up for the evening before you go out for your shrimp and lobster, or maybe your man's taking you to Burger King. I don't know, but this some stuff to use around the house. Some basic stuff, nothing major. But shout out to everybody here. Like I said, first 48. Of course, the Nightbot's in the house. Decime's here. D-Rex, I see you, brother. True Virgil, always a pleasure. How you been doing? Javiz S, how are you doing today, young man? Alfonso Carter, appreciate it. Oh, Eric 83, what's up? What is up? And Lincoln Clay is here. Shout out to Lincoln Clay. So how was my night last night? So I go to work my last night, and they had already downstaffed me because we only had like we didn't have a lot of patience, and so that was it. I literally punched in, punched out. They ordered a pizza and gave me some cupcakes, and I left like at 9:20, so something like that. And I was home, and so that's why I'm up kind of chipper right now. I got out this morning, walked around, cold as you know what outside this morning. It was 30 degrees, but got to get my walk in, so I got that done. And I did play the Resident Evil demo. I have no idea why my PlayStation isn't casting. Like I told it to cast, and it didn't do it. So I don't know why. So don't know if it's something that I've done. I don't know if I'm out of space. I have no idea how that works. So, but the last 2 times I've tried to cast out, it's not picking it up. It's not showing that I'm live. So need to go ahead and look at that again. And that is broadcasting to YouTube. And so I don't know. And I've seen other people, and maybe the Resident Evil 4 demo doesn't pop. I mean, I don't know. It's not the end of the world, but I did play the demo. So, and I finished it. And so I don't know if it's based on time, but I'll give you my impressions of it. And then the PS5 outperforming the Series X again on Gotham nights. I mean, if you haven't heard about it, it's getting ridiculous now. Like we're starting to see PS5 widen their gap on that. The Last of Us TV series finale, that is tomorrow night. It's about 50 minutes long, and yes, 50 minutes long, and so get ready for that. And of course, the Sony and CD Projekt Red, or CDPR, it's back up again, and we'll look at something that could be authentic, or it may not be. Of course, here in this dojo, here in this courtroom, we go by hard evidence, but because somebody sent this to me, we will just go ahead and look at it, and you all can make up your own minds. Like, to me, I've said this, it's not official until Sony comes out and says it. So until then, it's baloney. That's where I put it at. You all can put it wherever you want to. Make sure when you come in, hit the like button if you don't mind. Got about I don't know how many people here, and like I said before, but we'll go ahead and get into it. So we'll start with we'll do the PS5 outperforming the Series X. And what made this funny was I saw some Xbox guy literally claimed he canceled Resident Evil 4 because it's performing better on the PlayStation. And again, I want to caveat this from what I'm about to show you, which is it's a demo. It's a demo. And so since it's a demo, if you all don't know this, Capcom already has a parity clause in with both companies, and this only goes for the mainline game. It doesn't have anything to do with demonstrations. But what you're looking at right now on the screen, and let me tell you me and my girl with the I was gonna say China Hut. We went to the Panda Express today. And, we got our meals, whatever. They give you the fortune cookie. She opens her fortune cookie, and it's just your basic stuff. They give you the basic advice, make you feel good. My fortune cookie said, where are the 12 T-flops and 52 CUs? I mean, that's what my fortune cookie said. Like, on a piece of paper, and you can't make it up. Like, literally, there it was. It said, excuse me, on the paper, it said, excuse me, sweetheart. Where are the 52 CUs and 12 T-flops? I mean, this was in the fortune cookie. So even the fortune cookie knows that somebody ain't telling the truth about this. So back to the story here. This is a Resident Evil demo. And I'm caveating this by saying that the demo is running better on the PlayStation 5. The final game will not, because of the parity clause it's in. And so this is... And it needed to be in, because this is a travesty when you look at these numbers. So if you look on the left side, it says Xbox X resolution mode, RT on. I believe RT means ray tracing. And on the right side, it says Resident Evil, PlayStation resolution mode. So the same modes, ray tracing on both. There is a 10 to 12 FPS difference. And I can't read this word right here. I'm not sure what this says. It's this, for all I know, this says 12 T-flops. For all I know, this is what it says right here. I don't know. But you can see right here, this is bad. And and again, I don't have the machines and I don't have the technology in my place to do this type of work. So shout out to everybody that does. Shout out to J-Dub. He's in the chat. J-Dub did a matter of fact, I was oftentimes to listen to J-Dub's podcast, who J-Dub was saying that the PS5 VR2 or PlayStation VR2 is going to outsell the series consoles according to his sources. Let me tell you, man, if that is true, if that turns out to be true, oh my God, if you're going to get outsold by a peripheral device, that's like somebody, that's like a wagon that you hitch up to your truck, outselling the trucks on your lot. Like, hey, man, I come here to, like, Microsoft, this is terrible if this is true. And it is true that the... Oh, yeah. Super chat. I'll come back to it. I appreciate it. I remember. I can't see it because I'm looking at this screen here. But you all can see right here that this is a problem. Because Dealer Gaming and RDX told everybody that ray tracing was going to be better on the Series X because they had 12 T-flops and 52 CUs. I'm not going to say Dealer Gaming is a liar, but let's just say we're 2.5 years in, almost 3 years in, and where are the tools? Is that they're saying the tools aren't out yet. The tools are here. A friend of mine's a software developer. He's like, Xbox and PlayStation got pretty much the same type of tools. So, but the PlayStation has more customary stuff in their console. So, and the big thing he said was smart shift and it's overclocked. He didn't go into too many details, but here's another picture. Now, this is the Xbox S. That's the little white box. It looks like an MP3 player. This is just resolution mode, okay? Now, it's running at 40 FPS. I believe that's what this is. The Xbox Series X, this is the 12 T-flops. Lisa Sue said it eats monsters for breakfast. And I want to make sure you all understand that. Lisa Sue said the Series X eats monsters for breakfast. Microsoft didn't say that. Lisa Sue said that. So, and that was for her investors, okay? So, it says resolution mode. This is ray tracing off. It's 43.0. That's the frames per second counter, I believe. Look at the PlayStation over here. And again, it's at 58. So it's not a lock 60, all right? But you can't tell. I can tell you right now, you can't tell the difference between 58 and 60. When you 57, 58, 59, 60, your eye doesn't process, your brain doesn't process that fast enough, especially with all these new techniques. If you want to know about the resolution, they're using temporal reconstruction. So again, all these guys that told you everything was going to be native 4K, stuff like that, baloney. They didn't know what they were talking about. I and multiple other people, shout out to Foxy Games UK, we told you that the temporal reconstructions, the checkerboard rendering, dynamic resolutions, they weren't going anywhere. It's just that the way that the games could be made through those resolution algorithms was going to get better. It was going to get better. And that's what you're seeing in this game. And again, I didn't really change a whole lot on it on my screen. I just pretty much use a lot of default stuff. But you can see right here, this is the demo. I want to really caveat, demonstration is running much better. Now, the final game will be parity because I believe there's a clause in the contract, that says that PlayStation and Xbox have to be the same thing. The Series S is running, I believe, open frame, and that's not bad. That's better than 30, right? So that's not bad. So if you have a Series S, now I don't know what resolution it's in. It may be 1080p, but okay, that's not bad right there. And of course, with if you have VRR on and it's supported with this game, I'm getting 60 or maybe higher. I don't know. So we'll go to the last screen. You see right here that this is ridiculous. This is resolution mode with ray tracing. 38 frames per second. That is bad, man. That's bad. And again, it's just, it is what it is. All right. It is what it is. So, and I didn't do this work, and this could be all BS and flub. I'm not sure who did it because I would give credit to it. But you can see I'm using another Twitter person's thing. I'm not for sure whose it is. I give them credit. So shout out to the person who this is. I can't remember who this is. So, but the PS5 resolution mode with ray tracing on is, again, almost 60 frames per second. Why is this 38? Now, understand, this is a demonstration. This is a demo. And the demo isn't going to be part of the new, isn't the whole thing. So as long as you all understand that, don't get upset. Capcom, it's nothing to fix. Shout out to alrighty, brother, appreciate it. Got a new member, and I do appreciate you, brother. 4 minutes ago, yeah, had to take that down. I do apologize. So again, there's nothing to downgrade on the PS5. The PS5 version is probably close to the launch version. And the Xbox is not. I believe the Xbox, you'll hear them say something, it got a patch or stuff like that. So, and again, there's really, it's not a matter of it being a patch. It's this, that they have a clause, I believe, that says that their games are going to be parity anyway. And remember, people were screaming, well, Sony is doing this on purpose. No, they're not. So, because that's your game right there. So it's just probably Sony's is closer to what the actual game is going to be. And we'll have to wait and see. Now, I'm confident that when Digital Foundry and NX Gamer gets their hands on it in a week, or maybe a little bit before the game comes out, you'll probably get better stuff. You'll probably get a better game for the Xbox. So, because those numbers are terrible. Terrible. So the people that it says it may not change, I think it will. I just think it will. So it's got to. It's got to change. That's all I can really say. So, and I did decide on my CPU. I am gonna bite the bullet and get the 5600X, not the G, because the G has something like it's PCI something 3.0, and I think the X is 4.0. I had to double check it. So it is what it is. But just so you know, it's a demonstration. Now, what do I think about it? I liked it. It's got a lot of melee combat in it, which is new for Resident Evil. It's different. I'm gonna have to configure the buttons different. It asked me that I want to use the L1 button to run or hit the stick. And I chose the stick, but my instinct is to hit the L1 button. So I'm gonna have to switch that back to L1 when I purchase the game. When will I purchase the game? In April. This will be an April game. So because I need to let these people do these speed runs. That way, if I run into a puzzle, I can cheat. But I found a flash grenade on there that I used. I found a regular grenade on there that I use. But he can run, jump. Like I said, there's melee combat. Because I was just running around seeing how the game was going to be. And then you had this crazy dude with a chainsaw. Now, the first time I did the demo, he killed me with it because they'll grab you and hold you. So that's new. They're acting different than any other zombies that I've run into. But yeah, they'll throw stuff at you. This is just so you know, because I didn't know. What's up, HP? They'll throw stuff at, like they were throwing axes at me and stuff like that. So that was new. And so that's an added feature that, and again, I didn't play the first, when they did Resident Evil 4 years ago, like I said a couple days ago on my podcast. So I don't know if that's new, if that's added, I don't know. But that for me actually made the game a lot more fun. Now, I don't know why this dude Leon, I mean, this strong Christian white man named Leon, I don't know how he gets caught up in all this stuff. And he's in a, and I wonder if this is the same village or part of the same village that's in Resident Evil 8. Because a lot of the way it's laid out looks the same. It does. It's got a lot of similarities, you know. But anyway, I played it, and these church bells went off, and then that was the end of the demo. That was the end of the demo. But somebody got burned at the stake. You're looking for the president's daughter or something like that, which is crazy that she's missing. But yeah. And of course, they're making all kind of funny noises, and the sound was fantastic with the headsets on. And so when you know the sound is good when you're walking and you'll see a dead carcass on the right side, and you'll hear the flies buzzing, but it's only buzzing from the right side. Like the directional sound they took advantage of it. So shout out to them. When something fell behind me, it sounded like it was behind me. It wasn't just overall Dolby sound like that, like atmospheric sound. It was direct sound. So when you heard the birds, we heard crows overhead. You can look overhead, there'll be crows. So that because it sounded like that's where it was coming from. So good job on it. Again, if you haven't played the demo, I've got that up there, that poll up. Have you played it? And if you have, what did you think about it? Again, I enjoyed it. I hadn't played Resident Evil 4 or 3 before, and I finally finished 2, so I'm caught up. I've beaten 5. I've never played 6. I beat 7 and 8. Yeah, and I've beaten 2 and 3, so I'm on the 4, and so it's good. It's fun. You know, it's a good time. So, you know, I can't, you know, be upset with what they did. Oh, shout out to Jay. Shout out to you, brother, for the gave me a thumbs up. Appreciate you there, JRO49. I always support, and I do appreciate it. So yeah. So that for me is those two things in a nutshell for Resident Evil. Xbox, the demo, they need to do better. That's all I can say. Dealer Gaming told all you guys that the ray tracing was going to be better on the Series X, and you know, when D-Batch tried to D-Batch, got the wake up call from the Matrix, so to speak. He took the red pill over there, and those guys pulled him back in. They pulled him back in. So unfortunately for him, but so you can see that you guys are seeing it for yourself. You're seeing a separation from the two, and there's nothing wrong with the Xbox. I do believe when this game comes out next week or week after next, I'm sorry, that it will be fine. They'll fix it. I just think that the demo, it's just a lot better on the PlayStation for what it's worth. So First 48 says he got all 5 achievements. Yeah, I just got a score on there of good. So like I said, I found a flash grenade and a regular grenade. I found a lot of bullets. So but yeah, I mean, but what was new for me is them rushing you and grabbing you and holding you so the other ones could try to injure you. That's never happened before in Resident Evil. So, and of course he has a knife, and I broke the knife. So the knife, I guess, wears down and it broke. So but yeah, I don't, this dude goes in on foot with a small handgun. I just don't get that much of it. Like, why are you doing that? You need to walk in there with a rifle, a long gun, right? So, so you got a Series S. You haven't seen all these games that they say have multi-graphic settings. Yeah, I mean, again, I would have bought the S as well, but to me, they didn't need to do ray tracing on it. It should have just been, they should have just targeted 1080p, 120, 1440p, 60 to 30 or something like that. That's just my opinion. So, and that thing should have been 6.7 Navi T-flops, and then they would not be having this problem. There's 2.5 more flops. And a few more compute units, they would not be having this problem. But like J-Dub was saying, and he's right, the Series S is the top selling Xbox console. So Microsoft is kind of put themselves in a bad situation with that. It is what it is. They should have bought should have bought VR too. I mean, can you take your Series S in and trade it in for VR? I mean, I don't know. No, I do not know. So, but again, Resident Evil, I enjoyed it. I'll be buying it next month. I know it comes out in a couple weeks, but I'm starting that new job. I want at least 3 solid weeks there before I purchase anything major. But yeah, I enjoyed it and didn't know it had a bunch of achievements on there, because when they come after you, um, oh, it's your 1-year anniversary. Well, congratulations. I do appreciate you being here. And so I appreciate you. And yeah, we'll just keep it moving. Like I said, we're closing in on 2,000 subs. I can't believe it. So appreciate J-Ro with the 199. So, and as you can see, the Dono War that we're having for the PSVR, like I said, when we get the 250, when we get the 250, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. So we're $8 away, give or take. So maybe a brave soul out there will donate, $8, or each one of you all will donate more. I don't know. So just so you know, I've got it in the little basket thing, but, hadn't done it yet. So you bought a refurbished from the Microsoft store for $508. It was cheap. You bought it for $500? Did you buy the S or the X? It was cheaper than brand new, but looks brand new. Which one did you buy? I mean, did you buy the S or the X? I mean, because it says there you paid $508. I assume that's for the X. So, but yeah. I mean, again, Microsoft has done a real good job marketing. They did such a good job that they've gone ahead and the market, they're trying to get that deal done with Activision through marketing, saying how good this deal is and stuff like that. So it is what it is. So I appreciate you, J-Ro, for the follow. Oh, we're $3 away. Now we're $3 away. So, oh my God, I'm gonna end up buying that thing now. So, but everybody said Xbox is trash. I don't think it's trash. It's like I've been getting into it with a bunch of idiots online, and it's my fault. I'm not even taking my own advice about Starfield. If you didn't, here's my take on Starfield. If you didn't plan on playing it, why do you care what it looks like and how it's gonna play? I mean, don't get me wrong. I could see if you were going to play the damn game, I'd be the first one to say, yeah, I mean, it's a No Man's Sky. It looks like a No Man's Sky clone. It looks like they borrowed a lot of themes from No Man's Sky, and the combat theme does look like the early combat. The alpha looked like, looked like Mass Effect Andromeda. I said that when I first saw it, but that was an alpha. Go back and look at the alpha of Destiny, of Destiny, and see how trash that looks. So, and then see how trash that looks. So, and once you do that, once I'm telling you, oh no, we're at 250. Oh no, you all didn't. Oh, I appreciate you, C Fresh. So, yeah, looks like I'm gonna be getting that VR thing. I'll pull the trigger on it next Saturday. It's just gonna suck because I need to set it up where I can be at home when it gets delivered. I appreciate you all doing that though. And okay, so we've pretty much reached it. I do appreciate it. So that's the end of the Dono War. We're done with the Dono War, just so you know. So I appreciate everybody. So just hit the like button, hit the share button, because I'm not a greedy man. So like I said, I take care of it. I wanted to source a little bit of it, and I do appreciate it. So thank you all. Appreciate it. Brigadier William Wildebeest in the house. What's up, brother? I thought you forgot about me. How are you doing? So, but it just turns out you got a lot of people out there who I'm not going to say they don't play games. I'm just going to say it's like the people that talked about Forspoken before it came out, and they were like, it's going to get a low Metacritic score, and again, because those are ponies, those are fanboys, and they were like, and they're looking at it through the console war eyes. So to them, you know, they don't want anything to be done that makes Sony look bad, and so they run the Metacritic. And like I said before, these are the dudes. I don't know who these dudes are. Crazy at this. For me personally, I don't listen to them anymore. I'm gonna start. You know, I don't want to pull the plug on my sub with them, but I may have to really look at doing that. So, you know, that's just me though. I mean, you all do what you want. I just can't. I can't abide by it. So, but appreciate you all with the donation. So, but well, Ghostface, I don't know how it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just they're weird to me. They're weirdos to me. Okay, and that's both sides. But it looks like, and this is just my preliminary diagnosis, is you got a bunch of PlayStation cats mocking Starfield because it's not coming to PlayStation. I mean, that's this what it looks like. I mean, they're looking at alpha footage and they're trying to say this is what the game's going to look like. Like, no, that's alpha footage. Okay, that's alpha footage. Do you not understand that, you twit? But this is that stuff that Sick Humor was talking about. You know, these cats in the Xbox community have turned a lot of these PlayStation dudes, have really exposed, he is right, they have exposed a lot of these PlayStation guys not buying, not playing. They're in their own Twitter arguing. I mean, the Xbox community has not had nothing to talk about, and now they got Starfield and Redfall announced, which is fine. But you know, and now they're going to be talking about games and how they have exclusives when just, you know, several months ago they were talking about exclusives are bad. So this ain't on them because they're retarded. It's survival for them. You know, they had to get up every day and go on Twitter and see how excited that the, you know, PlayStation folks were. Their plates were full, so full that a lot of people didn't play a lot of the games, you know. So, but I do not understand why people that weren't going to play Starfield. Let me make this clear. If you're actually going to physically play Starfield and you're filing a complaint, my whole thing is, well, your complaint has been heard, but your complaint is bullshit because the game is in alpha right now. It may be in beta, and in June, now let me make this clear, in June, if we see it and it doesn't look like they improved anything, I'll be the first to say it don't look like they improved it from the alpha. So, or the pre-alpha build that we saw. So everything that we saw during their trailer, their announcement on the date when it was coming out was CG. So that's a legit observation, okay? That's a legit observation. Oh, well, Spartan Guy, there's a difference between the ponies and the PlayStation gamers. There's a big difference. So one of them is the gamers are actually getting some ass. They're getting some pussy, and the fanboys are not. When you got guys talking about Metacritic score, and let me make this clear, these guys are probably good guys you could go out and drink some whiskey with and smoke a stogie with and hang out. They're probably fun guys. You know, they're probably cool ass dudes, right? But when the first thing they go to is Metacritic, and because they don't want a game that Sony has to have a low Metacritic score, when all of that crap is subjective, they're not thinking for themselves. Again, in their minds, it's all about the console war. Even though the console war is over, it's over. When you have that deal that Microsoft has put forward, that entire deal that they have given Sony is bullshit. Okay, that deal is designed to end PlayStation Network gaming as far as their digital storefront. It is designed to do that. That's literally what it got designed to do. And it is bullshit. And to Sony's credit, they saw through it. I want to give a shout out to Marlon Gaming Nation because he actually did a really good job breaking this down yesterday. And people in his chat were mad at him. you know, they were mad at him, saying he's caping for something. Like, no, he's actually reading from a guy, from an independent analyst who has looked at this deal and has said this deal is bullshit. Microsoft's goal is to end PlayStation Now or Plus, whatever you want to call it. They want to end it because Microsoft wants to be the dominant subscription service, and they will leverage COD on their platform. That paperwork that came out yesterday, I don't know if you all didn't read it or not, that is so damaging. I'm like, there ain't no way in hell the CMA is going to let this go through. Like, at this point now, I still think the deal could get through, but man, oh man, it is starting to smell like your grandma's shoes. You know, your grandma always wore those crazy looking shoes, and when she took them off, you pretended not to smell her feet. That's what this deal is starting to smell like. So for their own sake, I hope they can get it done, because I mean, they're going to go crazy if that deal gets blocked. But that it's, you know, and the fanboys, you know, getting back to Starfield, I'm tired of it because, again, I know what to look. I play games like Starfield. I know exactly what to look for when I'm looking at that game. And if I don't see what I am looking for, I will tell you. Like I said flat out on Twitter, right? If you follow me on Twitter, I said, if this game is 30 frames per second, it's an L for this game, because No Man's Sky is a bigger game using procedure generation, and it's 60 frames per second, and it's a last gen game. So why in the world is this a problem? You know, so again, why is it a problem for a game that is smaller? No Man's Sky's got, what is a quintillion planets or something like that that guy was talking about, and Xbox is going to have 1,000. Now, for all we know, they've increased it, and they're gonna have a 60 FPS mode, and if not, it's an L. It looks like the Microsoft Flight Sim game. It's not 60, it's an L. It's a simulator. It has to run at 60 frames per second. When Drive Club, you know, the Forza game, not Motorsports, but the Horizon, it's 30 frames per second. That's an L. It's a driving game. It should be 60 frames per second. But I also understand it's more arcade style, which to me makes it more should be 60 frames per second. You know, should be more than that. So it is. So since I play games like Elite Dangerous and, you know, I played Mass Effect Andromeda, you know, it was painful, but I played it. So, you know, I know what to look for with games like that. People are like, well, it's going to be buggy. Okay. Well, if I get my hands on it and it's buggy, I'll say, well, this is buggy. You know, so, you know, but for people to be complaining about stuff that they're not planning on getting, that's a bitch move. You know, what's up, P-Rock? That's a bitch move. Like the stuff with Forspoken. Yeah, these fanboys were like, oh, well, no, I mean, it's going to have a bad Metacritic score. And it's like, well, because they don't want anything with a bad Metacritic score, because they live by Metacritic and OpenCritic and stuff like that. So but that's the fanboys. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. And that's why you got people going in on them. I shout out to guys like Mr. No Cap, Sick Humor, just on bullshit. You know, you have people telling you that Forspoken flopped, but they don't have a number that Square Enix was projecting out. So how do you know it flopped? Well, flop is the headline. That gets the headline. Okay, the first thing I would ask that person is, what number did Square Enix have in front of them that you know that the game flopped? Now, I'm not here to say the game was successful. When you get a statement that you put out, the game underperformed. It underperformed. So it just, that's what happens with gaming. It underperformed. So I don't know what else to say about this anymore. When you have a game that underperforms, you're getting the reaction that you're getting from Square Enix. I've always said, hey, if it underperforms, they'll tell you. But how do I know it underperformed? Because of what they've said. You know, if the game failed miserably, they would have said that. But it didn't fail miserably. It did underperform. And that's the end of it. But of course, the fanboys are going to say, well, the game flopped. No, it underperformed. Give you an example. Deadpool, the first one, made $1 billion. The second one did not make $1 billion. Does that make it a flop? No, it just means it underperformed the first Deadpool. The first Venom movie made over $840 million, I think. The second one did not. Is the second one a flop? Nope. Rocky 1 made way more than Rocky 2. Is Rocky 2 a flop, or did it underperform? It underperformed compared to the first one. So again, until I see the number that Square Enix put out, so I see that number that Square Enix put out, I don't have the confidence to tell you that the game flopped. I do have the confidence to say it underperformed. Somebody, and flopped, I get it, gets the headlines. Okay, what number do you have that says that it flopped? I mean, did Square Enix tell you or tell anybody it was going to sell this many million? You know, so, and again, maybe it did flop but I don't have the number in front of me. You dig? So I can't say that the game flopped. So, and I'm not here to say it didn't. I will say with confidence the game underperformed. This is a big deal. Says what MBG was saying, Square hasn't broke even yet. Again, if MBG has a number, that's fine. What is the number that he's talking about? I mean, again, I'm not saying, I can't say that he's wrong, but does he have the number? You see what I'm saying? And if you don't have the number, you don't know. That's just a fact. I mean, and people can say I'm damage controlling. Well, give me the number. Oh, you can't give me the number. Now you're just going to go on your fanboy bullshit. So, which is fine. That's fine. I'm not here to say that the game didn't flop. I am here to say that, well, it underperformed, obviously. Like, I gave you other examples of movies that underperform. It doesn't make them flops. So, you know, but that's up to you all. Inglés, no habla español. Okay. So, but maybe MBG could be right. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's got close to 100,000 subs. He may have a number. Somebody could have literally said, here's the number. So, I mean, we're closing in on 2,000 on My Little Dog Poo podcast. Shout out to My Little Dog Poo podcast. It was only supposed to have 50 subs. So somehow, some way, we don't. We keep going. So what am I going to play Starfield on? Well, if I can't get my Game Pass to act right on my PC, it's I got some kind of broken error on it. Like, it loads games up to 99% and then it stops loading them and it's like cannot proceed or something like that. Nick says No Man's Sky is 18 quintillion. Okay, so I'll be playing it on Xbox then. I'll be getting one. So maybe somebody will donate one. J-Dub said he's gonna throw his in the garbage, or so maybe J-Dub donates his. I don't know. Shout out to J-Dub City, the Black James Bond, But, because you have, people are disappointed in their Xbox. I mean, I can get it on the One S. If it's going to be 30 frames per second, which is an L, I'll just get the Xbox One S because I can afford that. Since now I got to get the PS VR because we hit 250, So that's just the way it's going to be. Now I got to get some VR games. But I'm going to get the Call of the Wild bundle. I'm going to get that bundle. So, I'm going to get that bundle. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on that stuff, man. I can't believe, and I don't care. Look, I do care because I like Square Enix's games, but I hate to see, I hate to see people telling you one thing, they got no numbers. So, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. So I'm about to wrap it up, Rock. Seriously, I am. I'm on to my last story, then I'm gonna bounce and go watch John Wick. So I gotta got a early preview to go see John Wick tonight. So I think we're supposed to go see John Wick. But moving on to the last story, Sony buying CD Projekt Red. Here we go again with this. So let me see here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't even know if I can. It worked. Okay. So and I don't think I can blow this up. Let me see if I can blow it up, because this is coming off of Twitter again, because I don't have access to this. So what you're looking at here, and this could be all cap. That's why I'm just rolling my eyes at this, because I haven't heard, like, Sony hasn't come out and said anything. But I think this comes from either Pitchfork or Pitch something. This is a company that tracks mergers and acquisitions and investments into things like that. So you can look at the last 10 investments, and then you have the buy side. Okay. So you have the date of the deal, the name of the company, the type of deal it is, the size, if there's any co-investors, the company stage, the industry that it's in, and then the lead partner. All this makes perfect sense. Okay? All this makes perfect sense. So here's one. Here's Epic Games. Somebody made the industry they're in is entertainment software. Somebody did something here. A deal type is this later stage VC. I'm not sure what the VC stands for. And this is page 14 of this. Let me see if I can get this to work. So, your old flowers. Well, again, Porter, like I said, I'm not saying it's not true. I just, here on my podcast, if it's not from Sony, it's not true. And I stand by that, because I follow the movie trades, and you can, the story I tell is about Brie Larson. Everybody knew that Brie Larson was going to play Captain Marvel, but it wasn't official until until Disney said it, and then Brie Larson took a picture. This is the first time I heard of Instagram. She had an Instagram account, and she had a Captain Marvel comic book and a giant script on her desk, and it said, I guess I need to start learning about this character. So I was like, oh yeah, she's gonna be it. So so yeah, well, now my podcasts are going to be in the evening because I'm switching jobs. So my podcast will be in the evening going forward. So, but again, this just has to do with all this crazy ass acquisition talk. And this could be fake. Let me make this clear. This could be fake, like 4K. This could be a faux public profile. So I'm not standing by this. This is just something that was out there. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can just do a screen grab of it. And this is because I tried to look this up, their public profile for this NYS New York Stock Exchange. Okay. I know that's what that means, because that's where my stocks are. I'm not sure about the way they break all this down, but right here, it's highlighted, and somebody did this. Okay. So you see here, the name of the company is CD Projekt, and I'm not sure if that's even the right acronym. All right. You would have to look this up on the NYS. Well, I can look that up right now. Hold on. Let me see if that's their actual New York Stock Exchange name. CD Projekt Red New York. I'm just seeing if that's the actual way they list their thing. So let's see here. Let me go to their profile. Yeah. That's what it looks like. It's a big CD like that, and then that's what it looks like. And then out on the side here, it says SA. So let me look at that again just to make sure. Okay, so that marries. That's okay. So right now they're trading at $28 per. That's where it closed at, I guess, on Friday. So industry toys and games, they're in consumer goods. Let me see what their market cap is. That's what I like looking at here. I don't want to subscribe. And it says when the deal happened. It says the deal happened last year. If you look at this, see, October 26, 2022. Deal type, merger acquisition. This is where this is coming from. Okay? Company stage, profitable. Industry, entertainment software. So this would fall under SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Now, does it have their lead partner? That to me is the flag. I don't know why these do have the lead partners, but this don't. But somebody could, I don't know if this Epic Games here, if this is a capital investment, but it says Yoshida did that. You know, Beyond Sports. I'm not sorry. Right here, AFEELA. This automotive, it says Yoshida again. Now, we do know that Sony is doing something with cars, right? They showed that at CES. So, is this real or not? That's what you all can decide. You all make up your own damn minds. I don't know. I'm not here. Look, let me make this clear. I'm not saying it's not true. I just can't stand by. I just wanted to bring this to you all because somebody reported this in October of last year. They reported it like on around the 26th or 27th. And I need to give that, if this is true, that guy's going to get his flowers from me. But I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I ain't going to go public with it. But that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. So again, if they bought them, fine. If they didn't buy them, here's what makes sense to me, because they need to bolster their Western RPGs, and I'm putting that in air quotes, because Bethesda is the big daddy of Western RPGs. So at worst, they can say we have these games here. We have Witcher, we have Cyberpunk, and I don't know what else the Red is working on. I mean, I don't know. So, but I'm not here saying it is true. And at any given time, Microsoft can pull all their IP from Bethesda off of PlayStation. No, I'm not reading it because I'm looking at that. What is Sargent saying? Let me see here. What are we saying here? Reading everything Sargent said? I see him saying, speaking of acquisition, am I the only one that noticed Sony has spent around $6 billion between the 1st and 7th of this year? Of this year. And he says as of the 31st of 2022, every report says Sony had between 13 and 11 billion. That's in yen, okay, to spend cash on hand. And well, you need to understand Sony as a whole had that to spend. That's for movies, that's for everything. Their their phone division, Sony just says here's how much money we have for acquisitions and stuff like that. So it's a total for their entire department, movies, stuff like that. And yet we have no tracks of transactions that big after. Oh no, I mean, again, VC, venture capital. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Very good catch there. I appreciate you there, young man. Porter Rock says, remember that he had said if there's any developer that makes the most sense for Sony. No, you're right. I mean, you're not wrong about that. So that's what I'm saying is that I'm not here saying it's not true. I'm just here to say, yeah, Ghostface is right. Game Pass underperformed. They were supposed to have 30 million. They're only at like 22. They're underperforming. So it's Photoshop. It could be. Look. Like I said, that's why I'm just looking at it like, okay, whatever. So, to me, it's funny. I mean, so like I said, I'm not saying it's true. So but yeah, because that Photoshop, that stuff is so good that yeah, and this does come from this idiot here that he's a fanboy, so he very well could have done that. That's 100% correct. So again, but what do you all think? I'm not saying it's true. I want to make sure I get that out there. I'm not saying that this is true. I am saying that this is floating around and people are running with it. So what do you all think? You know, some things do make sense here, but I think it's funny because this probably would have gotten out. And even there's an article today on PlayStation Lifestyle that calls bullshit on it. So just to be fair and balanced, it's right here. So, and it's coming from there. So see, you all didn't know I had this ready, did you? So even they're calling BS on him. So that's what I'm saying before. You know, then this comes from PlayStation Lifestyle. And they took a screenshot of this guy as a big old Xbox guy. And he is just doing this. This is my opinion, but that's my opinion. And I'm sticking with my opinion. It's not, this is why I say it's not true until Sony says it. But you all may not have known I had that ready. That's why I'm always fair and balanced. And I do, this girl, I saw her on the game. I do want to hook up with her. But I don't know how to do it. So, but yeah, this comes from the 11th, which is today. If you all don't know, this comes from today. So, and this is from PlayStation Lifestyle. And they're calling BS on it too. And that's where I'm at until Sony says something that's official. So, says given that the deal was said to have taken place in October 22, it's unlikely that this information would not have been made public in the 5 months. That's where I sit on it, since the alleged acquisition had taken place. Similarly, the supposed purchase was not mentioned in the company's own earnings report. There's your other red flag. As such, it is more than likely a mistake. Yeah, I mean, at least they're calling it a mistake, and that's where I'll sit with it until I see something official. Okay, but it is. I mean, this is, and they even talk about the Take-Two
What's
thing.
good? Okay, sign.
What does that say? Are you all gonna really make me go buy this VR system? Well, what's going on, brother? How you doing? How are you doing? I appreciate it there. There's that he's always a supporter of the podcast, man. Big shout out to him. So again, I just want to make sure that you all know the differences, because I'm not saying that's true. I just wanted to bring this up here because this PlayStation Lifestyle got a little more credit than that dude. That dude is a big old Xbox guy. So somebody said Photoshop. I can't disagree with that. And since it wasn't mentioned as part of, and they didn't say anything at CES or anything. So, and that's where, and CES was a big deal. Jim Ryan went out there, big dog, big nuts. If he had bookended that, talking about we bringing Gran Turismo to PSVR 2, and then said, oh yeah, we bought CD Projekt Red, that would have been the place to do it. But this is just my opinion, guys. I want to make sure I keep saying that to you. So I am going to have to call no take. Back like we played football back in the day. I'm gonna have to call no take on this one. Fake news. It probably is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to put it up there, but I wanted to balance it out as well. So you all, it's, you know, it's enough there for everybody. There's enough there for people to say could be true, and then there's enough there for people to say this is bullshit. Okay, so. So, but yeah, if it is true, definitely we're gonna get Puerto Rock his flowers. Make sure we do that. So, so shout out to Cycle Gamer. Nah, Cycle, like I said, it's all rumor. Blah 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 blah. I even had to put exclamation points on it. So like, hey, look, guys, this is not true. So, you know, and they're right. It wasn't mentioned during their earnings report. That means it's not true. You know, not unless they hid that from their own investors, which is against the law. Okay. So now, does this mean that Sony didn't approach CD Projekt Red or another company? No. I mean, I think people got to really understand that is that these companies will always sit down and talk to you. You know, okay, what's in it for us? Here are our shareholders. Here's how much they would expect, on the Vic that they want. And then if you can match this, it's like with Bungie. Bungie's like, yeah, sure, we'll talk about a possible joining, merging with you guys, but we don't want to just make games for you. And every person that works at Bungie has stock in Bungie, and you're going to have to give us more money so that those people just don't up and walk out. And that's why everybody says Sony overpaid. It's like, no, they 3.6 billion. That 1 billion Sony said was to invest into the company, mostly to keep people there. That's why they did it. So you can't, and you don't overpay talent. You just can't do that. So the Greg Miller and Jeff Grubb are reporting that apparently Sony is making a massive acquisition. Yeah, but Jeff Grubb said that a long time ago. Remember that BS he was on? It's a big deal for Sony, but I can't say what it is. And then he had to follow that up with, we don't know where this comes from. So, but hey, if Greg Miller and Jeff Grubb are saying that, that's fine. That's again, they've got their own sources. They've got their own podcasts. I can't, we're still waiting on that big one Jeff Grubb was talking about, like I said, months ago. Was it Square Enix he was talking about? Is it Square Enix? So, to me, they ought to be able to give you a little nibble on what it is. And it is. Sony intentionally did it and live their publishing rights untouched. Possibly. Because didn't WB publish Cyberpunk and Witcher? I can't remember. I think when you turn on Cyberpunk, doesn't the WB symbol come up in red or something like that? Red and gray or red and black or something like that. So the Omo Trapstar says we'll find out after the ABK deal is over if Sony scooped up somebody. Well, again, I think they did buy Ballistic Moon because Ballistic Moon listed them as their parent company. And yes, I guess that could have been a mistake too. But, I feel confident with Ballistic Moon mentioning it that they didn't screw up. So, but that's just me. I feel confident in that. This, I agree. It could be photoshopped or something like that. But if you're saying Jeff Grubb, a.k.a. Grub Snacks, if he sent him a massive acquisition, did he give any indication on what it could be? No. Would it be a monopoly? No, it would not be a monopoly cycle. Because again, did you ever play the board game Monopoly? Do you understand a monopoly is? You have to get all the same colors and you can put houses and hotels on them. So that's a monopoly. So Grudian Legends in the house. I didn't even see you, brother. He said he will send money. Will you invest in the stock market and you get a 30% cut? What? All right, so you want to send me money to invest in the market and then give me a 30% cut. And so you take 70%. No, that's not a good deal. That's like Jim Ryan saying to Microsoft, not a good deal. So, and I'm the one who told you all about Bungie. I put my big Bungie poster up right here. I was on 60 Frames No Lag. They were talking about acquisitions and they were saying this. And I'm like, what about Bungie? I already knew they had them. That's why I said that. So, and then 2 weeks later, they announced they bought Bungie. Like, yeah, I know. Sony paid bonuses to secure the talent and leave, but yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they paid the extra, and the reason why they had to pay it because their employees have stock, and if the employee leaves, they take their stock out of the company, and the company starts going down. Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. Well, like I said, I get what he's saying. Independent under Sony's roof. Bungie, yeah, they don't control. Bungie can just come out today and say the next game we put out is not going to be on Xbox. That's Bungie's decision. That won't be Sony's decision at all. That will be Bungie's decision. And Bungie making a game, so yeah, I get what I understand what you all were saying. I get it. So you want to make money and coast? Okay, Well, if you're going to give 30%, you would only give a broker what, like 18? Or just use one of those broker houses where you have to pay a small fee on the transaction. So yeah, I don't want to take anybody's. I'm not I'm not. I don't talk about stock because I'm not an investor. I don't have that license, and YouTube could come around and just say you're giving an information out and it's wrong. Blah 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 blah. So I'm in the medical field. When I talked about the pandemic, I got flagged for that. They took that video down. So like, oh, okay. So but yeah, I'm about to. There's no more questions here. I'll stick around for another 5-10 minutes. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up the whole CD Projekt Red. That's why I put ... again. We're talking about this again. And remember, The Last of Us tomorrow night, 48 to 50 minutes long. I think it's called Look Into the Light. And we all know how it ends, okay? And that's the whole thing that if you look at the reaction from last week, when you look at that reaction, I don't know if you all have just typed that in on YouTube, The Last of Us reactions from episode 8, even though you know how this ends. Like, we know what's gonna happen, right? And they have said, Craig Mazin, the showrunner, he said publicly that the show tomorrow is the end of Joel and Ellie's journey. All right? So whatever happens after this, it ain't, if there's a part 2 or season 2, which we're assuming there will be, hopefully they say something about it tomorrow. Joel and Ellie will return or something like that. It will be separate. And we all know what happens to Joel, okay? So we'll see. We will see how this turns out. But we all know what happens at when they get there. Let's just put it like that. We're not going to spoil nothing. So, so clearly not CD Projekt Red. Well, I don't. Yeah, like I said before, I'm just putting it out there because I saw it floating around. Somebody emailed it to me. I said, no, this is BS. But that's why I had that other story loaded up, just ready to flip it and say, here you go. Here you go. They did confirm a second season. Yeah, I know they were talking about it, but I didn't know they had confirmed it a second season. So, but shout out to them then. Shout out to like I said, shout out to Sony and all of them making that. Man, that show is something else, right? The Sony has spent a few billion. We just don't know for what. Again, their money is in a pool, is in a pot, and the movie people get it, the camera people get it, the people who make speakers and TVs, they get it. Again, Sony just released a whole bunch of new TVs. I don't know if you all didn't see their upload. I guess you didn't. So they just released them about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we have no idea where the money went, and we probably won't. What if Sony is trying to get a movie together and they got to pay their talent? When a movie gets green lit, that means everything is paid out. Everything's done. It's green lit. So the initial investment that goes into that movie is done. And I know Sony's got some more movies coming out this year. So it could have came out of that. It could be again, I'm simply trying to give you all a pause minute. Like, hold on, that money could have went anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So don't think when you see that money, that how much they do have, it's for everything. It's not just for SIE. SIE is part of the will that they have, and if they go to them and say, we need this much to get this, they may say, no, we're going to invest that money in a movie. Or our top talent, they have Tom Hardy and they have Tom Holland. Those are their 2 most bankable stars right now. If those guys want to do a movie, which they are going to do, you don't know that, they're going to do a Venom movie and have Spider-Man in it. And so if you didn't know that, they have to start allocating funds and get their director and get their script writers. And all those people want to get paid. They want a new Lamborghini. So Somebody pointed out the 26 was Pixamoto and that was acquired. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, there's 100 other things it can do. Rudy Legend says when you figure out where your money goes for The Last of Us 2, AMD, the TV series, and the TV series, you would not watch it or play the game. When you figure out where your money goes, well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think there's going to be any change, though. There will be a second season. Bella did kind of admit it. Okay, cool. Want to see Bella being carried through that hospital. Oh, I mean, it happened in the game, so you'll probably see it in the TV show tomorrow night. So, and I'll be going to bed because I have to get up and go to work on my new job tomorrow or on Monday. Woohoo! Have they posted any woke? No, they haven't. It's the same as the video game. So there's nothing to change on it. So it could be fake because the amounts are in euros, not dollars or yen. I know, like I said before, that's why I put the other story up there from PlayStation Lifestyle. I would just pause on it. I don't think it's real at all, but I can see why people would think it is. You know, but you gotta look, you gotta do your homework on that stuff. So, let's see here. Pretty sure Sony was approaching CD Projekt Red after it could have. I mean, I'm not here to say that I know Sony approached Remedy. I know that for a fact, but they couldn't come up with a deal. So, you know, it is what it is. Remedy is closer to Sony than they were. That's the best thing that I can say about that. This as Red is closer to Microsoft. That's what, to me, when you look at who is going to probably be purchased, look at who they're closer with. So when people started talking about Rockstar, I'm like, okay, well, in the last 6 to 7 years, Sony has gone out of their way to ingratiate themselves to Rockstar. So that would make sense. Just as Sony has gone out of their way to ingratiate themselves to Remedy as well. But CD Projekt Red, they walked out on stage with Keanu Reeves at the Xbox E3. Okay? Not at the Sony E3. It was Sony who booted that game off of their platform until they said told Projekt Red to fix this shit. Xbox kept it on. As bad as that game was, Xbox kept that game on their store. As bad as the quality was, okay? Because they're closer to each other. You know, Xbox is like, no, I can't disrespect, man. I can't disrespect them. That's my dog, you know. So that's kind of where you guys can look at stuff, at how the relationships are. And it's kind of like, okay, it would make sense. I mean, again, Bungie has been close to Sony since the launch of the first Destiny game. Sony got the alpha, then they got the beta, then they got DLC that Microsoft did not see. And so it doesn't shock me that umpteen years later, Sony has been wanting the Halo killer. They couldn't make it themselves, so they went out and bought the company that killed Halo. So that's why, you know, Microsoft buying stuff isn't that big a deal. They just don't need to lie about it like they lying about it. So this, you know, like Porter Rock said, you know, if Phil Spencer of all people can't say that we at Microsoft want these studios and we want these games to be exclusive, if they can't say that, then who can? It makes no sense. So Emmer said he needs to find a way to invest in companies. It's not hard. Just go to their page and buy some stocks. So, so there was no Sony E3 that year. Yeah, I know. And Joel last week saying, I got you, baby girl. He says that in the hospital. So, you know, he said that in the hospital in the game. I don't know if people didn't realize that when he's getting Ellie up, he's like, it's okay, I got you, baby girl. So, you know, Xbox had a marketing deal for Elden Ring years ago, and yet Sony is close. Yeah, well, they're closer to them with that capital investment. Yeah. So again, so when that game comes to the subscription services, it wouldn't shock me if it came to the PlayStation first. Like, them investing in that company may have bought them 3 months of having it on their subscription service first, or whatever, 6 months, a year, who knows? Or maybe it bought no time. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, they're gratiating themselves to these companies. Everybody's getting a little bit closer. So I can see where people would say, to me, CD Projekt Red would make sense in the fact that it would help counter the Bethesda deal, and then but Sony would have to go buy something else besides them. They would have to buy like Red and then Remedy, to offset the Bethesda deal. Because again, Microsoft could wake up on Monday and say, okay, starting in 2024, all Bethesda games will be exclusive to our Xbox platform. It could be something that it could be that simple. It could be that simple. So, so like I said before, man, once these companies get bought, people need to brace themselves for that type of announcement from them. Okay, so you wouldn't be surprised to see Elden Ring DLC announcement at the next PlayStation Showcase. Well, fair enough. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a good point. Could be. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They are doing DLC. So yeah, but that would be directly from the cap. You would say, oh, Sony made a capital investment, so it makes sense for them to advertise this at the showcase. You're right. Good point. Very, very observant. Very observant. So you watch The Last of Us for free, so that's that. So there's that. Yeah, they've got some deals. I mean, you can watch it. HBO didn't like Sony have some stuff, or you could buy it HBO Max for like $3.99. They had some kind of special when this first started. So for that, ouch. So all right, but guys, we're getting close to 6 o'clock. So I've been here for about an hour and a few minutes. So let me go ahead and start. Let me close this out here. So yeah, so we've talked about that, and we talked about the CD Projekt Red thing. The Resident Evil demo, 4 demo, I enjoyed it. I recommend it. You do get to do melee combat, even some karate kicks. That's pretty fun. PS5 outperforming Series X on Gotham Knights. The red herring, I think, is Resident Evil, because there's a parody clause in, but it doesn't touch the demo. So The Last of Us season finale, if you enjoyed it, you're going to like the ending. It's tomorrow night. The Oscars are tomorrow night as well. If you watch them, I'm not going to watch them this year. My pick for Best Picture is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Best Actress will be the woman from there. It's between her and Angela Bassett. I hope Bassett gets it for playing Queen Ramonda in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I hope she gets it. She, right now, is the odds-on favorite. We'll have to wait and see, because that woman from Anything, Everywhere, All at Once is strong as well. I think the best supporting actor will go to the guy from Anywhere, Everywhere, All at Once. Best cinematography, I thought, would be Top Gun Maverick, but it's going to end up being All Quiet's on the Western Front. And because they're battling for cinematography and sound and editing. So hopefully Top Gun gets something. I got my fingers crossed. But again, I won't be watching it. So, but what say you? What do you have as Best Picture, Best Actress? I think Cate Blanchett squeaks it out. Well, not Cate Blanchett. I'm sorry, Angela Bassett. Best Actor, I think the guy that played the Elvis, I can't think of his name. I think he wins Best Actor. So I think those are your heavies, and we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get on up out of here, and I do appreciate you coming. Remember, starting Monday, I will starting Monday the 13th, no more 9:30 podcasting. That's done. I'm graduating to I'm gonna graduate to the 6 o'clock spot. 6 to 7:30 is what I'll aim for. 6:30 to 7:30, somewhere in there. Like I said, and then on Saturdays, we'll go back to 9 o'clock, possibly. And I'll still be doing Wakanda Forever with Lincoln Clay. That'll be, I believe, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you tune into that, the King of VR. And like I said, I'll be pulling the trigger on my VR system possibly on the 18th. Have to wait and see how the currency is looking at the time. But guys, I do appreciate you being here. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button and the share button and that donated so that we can go ahead and get the PSVR and get that done. So, and I think the next studio this big that Sony's going to buy, my opinion, is WB Games. I think they go after WB Games. They already are in a relationship with WB and Legendary and stuff like that. So they already have a pretty good working relationship with HBO, with the TV show. So, and the Harry Potter game did massively well, sold very well. They have delayed allegedly the Suicide Squad game that kills just something like that. They've delayed that apparently. Think what else? Yeah, and Gotham Knights looking and running better on PlayStation. Again, this is my opinion. Okay, this to me, WB makes the most sense out of all of it. I say the big five: EA, WB, Sega, Capcom, and even you want to throw CD Projekt Red in there, fine. To me, WB makes the most sense. WB Games, I should say. But that is it for me. That's just my little 2 cents. And try to get up with you. I need to see what's going on with that PlayStation, why it's not broadcasting. I've had that happen before, but I have to look into it. All right, guys, that is it. I appreciate you. Appreciate all the donations. We'll go ahead and get the VR up